Okay, so now let's talk about how to construct a perpendicular bisector of a line segment. So here we have our line segment. Remember, a perpendicular bisector, we want it to be 90 degrees, and we want it to be right in the middle. So to do that, we've got two methods here. The first one is kind of the way most people usually do it with a compass. And so that is to take our compass, and what we're going to have to do is set it to a distance that is obviously bigger than halfway. So halfway looks to be somewhere in here. We want our compass to be just obviously bigger than that. If it's close, it's not going to work. We need it to be obviously bigger. Then we're just going to swing an arc from one point up and down. So all of these points are the same distance from that point. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to set our compass with the point on the other side and swing our arc all the way up, make sure they cross, and all the way back down so that they cross. And again, all of these points on this arc are the same distance from this segment. And so there's 2 points that are equidistant from both segments. That's here and here. And by our perpendicular lines conjecture, perpendicular bisectors conjecture, we know that those 2 points are on the perpendicular bisector. And so we can use those to draw our perpendicular bisector right through the middle. Now the nice thing about a perpendicular bisector for a segment such as AB is that it does create that point right in the middle, which is our midpoint. So if we need to create a midpoint of a perpendicular of a segment, we don't really have to draw the whole perpendicular bisector in, but we can use that same construction to find the midpoint. Now there's one other method that's very, very similar, but works a little bit better when we do things like this on a computer, and that is to just set your compass automatically to the whole length of that line segment. It ends up doing the same thing. It's obviously longer than the midpoint, and when I swing both arcs through, I still get those 2 intersection points. So I could draw my perpendicular bisector, or I could just line it up to find the midpoint if I wanted to. And that's actually the same construction that we use to construct things like an equilateral triangle, because we could draw our equilateral triangle right there. But another option there, most people prefer the first one for pencil and paper constructions, however.